Welcome in. It is another edition of On the Tee with Anita Marks, John Mascari, as well as Christina Thompson from Golf for Her. Let's bring them on. What's up? What's up? Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
John, look at you. I mean, John, look at you with the suit and the what? I know. All right.
Miami Vice.
I have to get my sleeves. My sleeve. Is this zhuzhing? Am I zhuzhing them correctly?
What is it like? Why? Dressing to the nines?
It's the Florida swing, man. We got to get ready.
Oh, is this your Miami Vice look?
This is kind of like Miami, but also it's finally over 30 degrees in New Jersey, so I'm kind of bringing out some color.
Do you have socks on?
No.
So again, Christina Thompson, Golf for Her. Make sure you check out her website. Get yourself ready for this season because, as I always like to say, you want to look good to play good. Woohoo! You want to be active and attractive. You want to look good. And of course, John Mascari, head pro at Alpine Country Club. Anybody? Are you open? Or people come out and play today because the weather was so beautiful?
We had a few people come out just to carry a few clubs and walk on the golf course. There's still snow out there. But we are planning to open next Friday. And today was a day of just getting the range ready, getting all the golf carts prepared. And it's like we're making the final turn towards the season. So it's exciting.
That's exciting. That's exciting. I ran 5 miles today. So that's a plus. I'm starting I'm seeing a little bit more shine on my face because I'm getting some sun. This was like the third time. Right? Like, I don't know about you guys, but the winter kicked my ass. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. Fuck the winter. Fuck the winter during COVID. Like, I gained 10 pounds and I got really pale. So we need to change that shit up. Anyway. All right. On to us. On the tee. Big week. Players Championship. Why do they call it the 5th major, John? Why do they call it the 5th major?
It started out with the golf course, the stadium course, the fans, the purse was always one of the biggest ones. And it's a big tournament. It's the best of the best. And it's
48 of the best 50 golfers will be teeing up starting Thursday.
So fun. Have you ever been to the Players? Have either one of you ever?
Oh, wait, time out. How long have we been friends, Christina? I lived in Jacksonville for 3 years. I used to work for the tour. So confession, and by the way, we've got a special guest. It's our first show. We have a guest. I'm so excited. John booked Derek Sprague.
Sprague. Come on.
There you go. Derek Sprague. Thank you. I'm horrible with names. You know that. He's the general manager. He's the GM at TPC Sawgrass. So I'm excited to share this story with him. Hopefully he's not watching right now because I want his reaction live. So I worked for the PGA Tour and we got to play and so I lived in Ponte Vedra for a year. I couldn't live there more than a year. Anyway, so we got to play Sawgrass for cart fees. That was part of our perk. Anyway, so we would purposely book the last tee time of the day. And when we would get to the 17th hole, the island hole, we would tee up 10 balls and we would all put $50 down and we would bet who would have the most balls land on the island green. Whoever had the most balls land on the island green would win the pot.
You get 10 balls each?
Yes. So we would purposely schedule the last tee time. But we always said, oh my God, if we get caught, we're fired. But it was so worth it because it was the 17th green. It was the island hole, and that's what we did. So, what
was your success rate on those shots, Anita?
Yeah, not good, John. Not good. not good.
It was just about the experience. Let's be serious.
Yeah, I mean, but it was so fun. You imagine we literally would line up. We would literally tee up 10 balls in a row, and it was like whack. Whack, whack, whack. I mean, it was like that. It was like, it wasn't like, oh, let me re-tee up. No. You would
like a machine.
Yeah, you were a machine. You would literally tee up 10 balls.
Can you imagine playing behind her and watching this happen?
That's why. This is what I'm saying.
I understand, but even someone's out there. Hey, let's go over and play 17. There's fucking 40 balls on the tee.
We purposely
goddamn driving range.
So anyway, Christina, I lived in Ponte Vedra. I lived in Jacksonville. I worked and I covered the PGA Tour. And so yes, I've played this. I've got another story. The first and only time I ever threw a club in the water, I took my father. My father was visiting, and I took him to play TPC Sawgrass. And I was so frustrated with my round that I took my club and I threw it into the water. And my father said, "That's it, we're done." I said, "What do you mean we're done?" He said, No daughter of mine is throwing a club in the water. We're done. We're
packed you up.
We're packed us up and went and
pack your shit.
Take your shit. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, right.
And let's go, because no daughter of mine is throwing a club in the water. My dad, and ever since, I've never thrown another club in the water.
I love how she kind of threw in the water into that very casually.
What do you mean?
The first time I ever threw a club in the water. Like,
there's other places
always throw clubs in the water? Like, this is only the fourth time I threw a club in the water.
I've thrown a club before. I've never thrown it into the water before. And I did it with my dad, and my dad was like, "No daughter, no." He shut that shit down. He was just like, "No daughter of mine. Let's go. Pack your stuff up. We're leaving. I'm not having this."
Pull that shit out, man.
So anyway, Christina, those are my two experiences that I have felt very, very free to share with you on the tape. All right, guys. As always, we like to start the show off with our show drink, and we like to have the show drink coincide with the tournament. And so it is the Sawgrass Splash, baby. Woohoo! What you got here, Christina?
Well, I'm going to start by saying, to be honest, it is absolutely a beautiful day in New Jersey, and it really had summer vibes all day today. So I was really excited that this was the drink that we were going to make today for the show. Right. So yes, the drink, it's called the Sawgrass Splash, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think the drink got its name from the notorious, 17th island hole, because of all the balls that go splash in the water.
All of Anita's 97 golf balls that went splash into the water.
And one club.
I think, and one club. But I do believe, I think someone had said there's 100,000 golf balls at any time that are in the water around the 17th. And I don't know. But anyway, so what I love about this adult beverage is that it's vodka with a medley of refreshing citrus juices.
A medley. So it's got Grey Goose, L'Orange. It's just too bougie for me, so it's Grey Goose Orange.
There you go.
Fresh lemonade. So I did actually, you'll be impressed, I actually squeezed fresh lemons and orange juice to make this, because I figured if I was in Florida, I'd have fresh orange juice. I went old school homemade cocktail. So yes, there's a recipe. I made it. Here it is.
I love it. And John has it as well, right? John, you have it?
Yeah, I have mine. I actually poured the lemonade from the bottle into my glass. And this is freshly squeezed Tropicana. Nothing but the best.
Nature's fresh.
I love it. So
this is actually, I would like to thank Christina for actually coming up with a fucking drink that I could make. I didn't have to fucking shave chocolate into or put an umbrella in.
I just brought it down a notch for y'all.
I love it.
Simplified.
Sawgrass Splash. This is the drink that you want to make this weekend while you're watching the Players Championship. Sawgrass Splash. I love it. All right, guys. As always, before we look forward, and again, really excited to have the general manager of TPC Sawgrass, who's going to be joining us on the show. And he's coming up in about 15 minutes. He's going to be joining us at 7:30. As always, we like to look back before we look forward. And of course, let's talk about Bay Hill. And you know what? I beat myself up that, going into this tournament, I did not take into effect the the metric for driving distance, and I should have, because when you looked all week long, when you looked at the top of the leaderboard, the majority of golfers that were at the top of the leaderboard were those that lead in that category, driving distance. Obviously, DeChambeau, the number one, and Kokrak is up there, of course. Rory is up there, of course. And so obviously driving distance played a major factor this week in regard to winning this tournament. But guys, man, DeChambeau was just, I mean, he was a beast. He was an animal. God bless him.
I picked him.
All right.
I'm so
All right, let's hold this out of the way right now. So can we get this out of the way so the show can move on, please?
How much money did you win? How much money did you win, Christina?
Only $200 because I went.
Only that's a new pair of shoes, boo.
I know, but I always feel like everyone wins and they win like $2,000. But listen, I picked them. I got it. So all of you who are listening to the show, I got you.
Listen to our cockologist.
Yay!
All right, we can move on now. All right, so yes, Bryson put on a driving distance, whatever, like a long drive contest.
Were you watching live? What was the
number 6?
Yeah,
number 6.
were you watching live when he cranked that?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I think one of the funniest things, and I think it's true, and I think I read this or heard this correctly, that I think during one of the first or second rounds when Bryson was playing with Spieth and they were talking about the tournament, he had said, I think because Spieth, this was his first time playing Bay Hill. So he said the only reason why he was playing is so he can be there to watch Bryson hit the ball on number 6. So I just thought it was a little bit of a circus. I'm not going to lie. I think it was a little bit of a circus, but he crushed it. You know, it was fun to watch.
Well, a few hot topics from this tournament. First and foremost, time-wise, like, do you feel that the tour needs to totally implement 90 seconds for you to take your next shot? From the minute that you arrive to your ball, you have 90 seconds to make your next shot. John?
No way.
What do you mean, no way?
Because certain shots require certain different times, lengths of analysis, and I'm going to take longer on a putt than I am on my tee shot. And as long as I maybe get it in a certain allotted amount of time, then that's okay. But you're going to tell me if I've got a putt that's worth $300,000 that I want to look at it again, I can't?
I mean, is there a difference?
You can't, but isn't a minute and a half sufficient amount of time?
Maybe for you.
Well, I mean, we do know that there are problems. There are.
I'm just being an asshole, but.
No, but I mean, listen, there's players who take a long time and others don't. I mean, it's a problem. I mean,
yeah, but we're not even professional golfers.
No.
And I have a really I have a really hard time when I'm playing with somebody who takes 100 practice swings before they hit a ball.
100%. I agree.
Hit the fucking ball. Hit the fucking ball.
As amateurs, I think it is absolutely one of my biggest pet peeves to watch a bunch of hackers putting everything out from 3 feet, just pick the ball up and move it along. And they wait and they're lining it up and they're holding the putter up. I mean, that does slow everything up.
Okay, but time out.
When there's $1 million on the line.
Time out, Christina. Because if there's money on the line, I'm gonna make that fucker put that shit out.
Right.
Okay, time out. If there's money on the line, I don't care if it's 3 feet, 2 feet, I don't care if it's an inch. You're putting that thing. Yeah. Because there's money on the line. Sometimes, especially if you're playing a skins game where the holes are pushing over, it's a push. Man, you're talking about 3 skins. No, you are putting that if it's 3 feet. I don't care. You're putting it. So I know you don't gamble. I know you don't gamble when you golf. And God bless you. Because if you gambled, probably you and I would play a lot more. But
I can't. I just can't.
This show's gone to hell in a handbag. Anyway. All right, let's okay, first of all, let's get this out of the way. Lee Westwood and his caddy Do we have pictures? What a smoke show. Do we? I think we have pictures. Brett, were you able? Were you able to pull some? You weren't.
When you asked,
dude, you didn't.
Your email about this was hilarious. It took you 5 words of this is his caddy, and then boom, she is hot. And I'm like, where are we going with this? And then I look at the pictures and look, I mean, you got an eye there, but the challenge is, so for all the people who are playing at home, the challenge is we can't just pull any image. We have to have a license for it to put it on the air.
Oh, that's
so in fact, you could argue
just
that
Google
she's too hot
for.
Wait, Helen's story.
Yeah. So apparently now, I'm trying to understand the scenario. So did he cheat on his wife with her and left his wife for her? Do we know the storyline? Because I have since have received some emails about that.
Scandalous.
I know, scandalous. Do we know what the storyline is here?
No.
No, we don't.
Google it.
Okay. All right. Well,
it's material.
I'm gonna shut that down. But John, I want to go. I want to go to you on this, and because I love your wife Julie probably more than you. Could you imagine? Sorry, not sorry. Could you imagine Julie caddying for you? Like, how often does that happen? Where you have like your significant other caddying for you?
We can't be on the golf course together, period. Let alone in close proximity. She wouldn't know the difference between a 9-iron and a 3-iron. But listen, it's time spent with them. Maybe it eases Lee, it keeps him in a good place mentally. It's caddying just isn't. It's more than just carrying the bag. It's caring for the person on the golf course. And Lee is a former number 1 ranked player in the world. He knows what he's doing out there. Yeah. So who knows? He might just like her there for emotional and support.
Masters.
But Christina, you have a really big relationship with a lot of the women on the LPGA tour. Do they have their significant others caddying for them? Do you feel that it's more prevalent? I would imagine that it's more prevalent with women for their significant other to caddy for them than it is for men for their significant others to caddy for them. Is that
not necessarily? I mean, there's tour players who have their boyfriends that caddy for them. Or wives that caddy for them. So yeah, they do have significant others that caddy for them. I don't think it's any more or less. I mean, if you really think of a caddy's job, I mean, like John said, their job is to kind of keep the player level-headed, calm, focused, not always providing them with club selection. It is helpful if they have some knowledge of the game, but I mean, the role of the caddy is an important role. And Lee has been playing golf for a long time. And I know he brought Helen on his bag. She does a really good job at like kind of keeping him calm. Lee, he's been a top player for years. I mean, so he wouldn't bring somebody that would hurt his game, but I think it's great. I mean, I don't know if Mark, my husband, would ever want me caddying for him, but I love playing golf with him. He makes a really good caddy. He's like my favorite caddy. But
you're missing a very big point here. If your husband is your caddy or your wife is your caddy, and you have to pay them the 10%. You keep it in the family. Come on.
Well, it's funny.
There you go, honey.
So Jane Park is one of the tour players on the LPGA tour. She is married to a professional caddy, also on the LPGA tour. His name is Peter Godfrey. He actually caddies for Arya Jutanagarn. So I always wondered, like, Peter, why don't you caddy for Jane? And honestly, it has nothing to do with the fact that let's split it up. So they both have winning opportunities on tour. So they split up as for pure financial reasons, but he would be a great caddy for her, and they do it. But
I think one point we need to talk about with Lee Westwood is how about Lee? He's going to be 48 years old. Right, a pretty good year for 40-year-olds this year. Brian Gay won, Stuart Sink won. He's 47, and I thought Lee looks awesome. Like he
looks hot.
He used to be kind of a little bit of a pudge.
Time out. He does have that little old man like Buddha belly.
Right.
He does have that. He does have that that little.
Well, he's a beer drinker. I'm sure that has
Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with
He's an
that.
Irishman.
Sorry, everyone's not chiseled.
And from what I understand, our guest is about to join us in a second. But really quick, before we move on to Derek, who's going to be joining us, what do you feel was more of an injustice? Do you feel that Lee not able to move his ball out of the divot, or Bryson able to drop his ball away from the sprinkler? What do you feel was more of an injustice this past week?
Divot gate.
Both are fine. It's the rules of golf. I don't know. There was an injustice tonight. Lee hit the ball into a divot. Lee hit the ball out of the divot. Let's go.
Yeah,
but shouldn't he be able to? Don't you feel he should have been able to move it out of that divot? Really?
No.
Yeah. It's golf.
No.
There's gonna be a lot of divots. There's always going to be a divot, right?
Yeah. And
everybody could listen.
And when my ball's in a divot, I turn to the guy in front of me and I'm like, I'm moving my ball out of this fucking divot.
No.
Well, you fucking touch that ball. That's what I would say.
That's probably what you would say. Anyway, let's bring in our very special guest, and that's Derek Sprague, and he's joining us. He's the GM of Sawgrass, TPC Sawgrass, where they are going to be hosting the Players' Championship. A lot of us call it the 5th major. Derek, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you on. So many people are excited for you to be on the show today. By the way, we're very good friends with Goose, caddy at Liberty. He texted me about an hour ago. He's so thrilled that you're on the show. He can't wait. He wanted me to send his regards. So we thank you so much for joining us. What an exciting time. First and foremost, let's go back, right? Because I feel like there are 2 incidents that took place that really kind of like mark when we all started to really feel this pandemic was a reality for us. One was when Rudy Gobert, right, tested positive in the NBA, and when this tournament last year was shut down after the first round. At that point in time, I think me and a lot of my friends said, oh no, this is real. Like, it got real after that. Kind of take us back to that moment and where we are today.
Well, thank you. Glad to be on the show, and hello to Goose, and hope he's doing well, getting ready to go back to Liberty. Certainly that week, early in the week, I'd say maybe Monday, we had a lot of international people here. There was a lot of chatter in the hallways talking about, that they had some concerns for travel and what's going on, and this virus was sort of picking up steam. And then, we started to see some things being canceled. Of course, the NBA was canceled, and then there was talks about March Madness and what's going to go on with March Madness, which is such a great event as well with the basketball. And then we just felt it on Monday, and then Tuesday it was just picking up steam. And then I think you've heard the commissioner here talk about, when Disney World shut down, which is really the biggest driver of tourism in the state of Florida, that, this was serious business, and that we should cancel the players. So that's what happened. It was sort of surreal. And then I can remember on Friday morning after we canceled the players, it just felt like the world came to a stop. We've seen movies or shows where, nuclear bombs go off and people come out, and you're just sort of, looking and looking around and seeing if everybody's okay. And that's what it felt like there. The players were stunned. Everybody's just stunned and didn't know what to do. And then, of course, here we are a year later, and we're looking forward to hosting the players again. And we're going to have 20% of our maximum capacity for fans. It's going to be the largest since the restart last June for fans. So it's exciting. We had a lot of people out there today for Tuesday practice round.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how far we've come, right? In just a year, and God bless that we have. With that being said, kind of share with us, how does the course look? How is it playing? What's going to be the most challenging aspect of it? Kind of break it down for us, please.
Okay, so we overseed here with ryegrass and Poa trivialis, and it's a cool season grass. We do that in October, so it's not, you can't just flip the switch with grass. So, which a lot of people don't understand the process, but it's very intensive. So we do that in October, early November, which allows it to mature between that period and in March. And this year we had a really good catch, if you want to call it like that, because it was cold here in North Florida most of the winter, a lot of cloudy days, a lot of rain, and that allowed the Bermuda to go dormant and allowed the cool season grass to be the alpha, if you will, and be the dominant grass, and it really took over. So a couple things going into this week. We're going to have thicker rough. It's going to be juicier rough. It's going to be tougher for the players to advance in some areas. We put a lot of cultural practices in place over with the top dressing, and of the fairways. So the fairways are going to be the firmest they've ever been. We've made drastic improvements with the water on our greens. The water quality is much higher today than it was a year ago. So the greens are going to be firmer, faster. In fact, I was talking to Justin Thomas yesterday, and he was saying these greens are ridiculously fast. He said, and it was windy here yesterday and Monday of the practice round, and he said, I hope they are careful with the pin placements this week because it's going to be tough out there. So I think, compared to a year ago or even 2 years ago, the course is going to be significantly faster, and both on the fairways and the greens. The quality is just that much better. I think the rough is going to be thicker than they've seen here. It's not going to be as thick as Bermuda rough would be, but it's going to be pretty thick for Rye. And then, of course, the challenging part for March here will be the winds. And although it wasn't windy today, it's not predicted to be windy tomorrow. Hopefully we're going to get some wind on the weekend. But on yesterday, we had 20 mile an hour to 25 mile an hour gusts here. And a number of players, like I talked to Rory as well, Rory did not go out and play. It was too windy for him. He just worked on his short game here. So again, it all depends on what the players want to work on leading into Thursday's opening round.
You guys thought I wore a jacket because we were going to Florida, but I'm wearing a jacket because I'm talking to a PGA Hall of Famer and former PGA president of my organization. So you thought I was dressing up for that. I'm dressing up for Derek. And Derek, I know you're the GM, but I could tell you're still got the golf pro blood in you because you have your club sitting there in the corner and you have the driver still in the wrapper behind you. So that's good to see that you're still living that life. But, you touched on it before, and we're so happy to hear that fans are back on the grounds. And you mentioned that they're on there for practice round starting today. Even though it's only 20%, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you and your team are preparing for that? What's different than maybe normal years? It's such a huge part of this tournament is having the fans there, and we're going to be really excited just to see, even if it's 20%. It's certainly come a long way.
So the psyche has been, I wouldn't say it's been challenging here, John, but for our team here, we're still putting on a championship. So from an agronomy standpoint, they haven't missed a beat. They're not doing anything differently. They're preparing the course for the best players in the world. Our PGA golf professionals here at TPC Sawgrass, we have nearly 20 of them on staff here. They handle all the golf operations and they handle all the merchandise. So the one big difference is that the size of our merchandise tent has gone from nearly 27,000 square feet last year to about 13,000 square feet this year. So about half the size. So we had to bring in less merchandise, obviously, for that fact. But again, as far as our team, our golf operations team, our PGA professionals, they're running the practice facilities. In fact, when you look at it, even though there's only 20% of the maximum capacity fans, this year, little known fact here, that the players actually has 10 players more than normal in the field. We have 154 in the field because of sort of the wraparound season from 2020 to 2021. The Player Advisory Board Council, the PAC, as they call it on tour, they opted in so that they'll have 10 more. So that's going to be a little challenge for us getting them in on Thursday night. We're not sure that the entire field will get in on Thursday, which means it won't get in on Friday, and we'll be doing the cut on Saturday morning. So that really, as you know, as a golf professional, it complicates operations that way for everybody involved putting it on. Agronomy team has to keep the cups in the same location for those next mornings. They got to prep the surfaces very similar to what it was the day before to keep the competition as fair as possible. And then our team starting early and juggling people almost twice, almost like a rain delay that we're used to.
So Derek, question for you though. So unlike a lot of other tour stops, this Sawgrass is a place that amateurs and hackers like myself can actually come and play this course. So my question is about, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people flocking down to come play Sawgrass. I mean, everyone loves this and they all want to come out there and they want to get to the 17th hole. They want to see if they can land that ball on the green. So my question is, first of all, how far does that tee box play from the middles for some of us? And how do you keep pace of play? Because, if you heard the show earlier, Anita talked about how, they would pick the last.
Are you outing me? Are you outing me now?
Outing you. They would pick the last tee time.
Time out. I've got to wait a minute. So Derek, I used to work for PGA Tour Productions. So this is way before you were at TPC Sawgrass. This is when I was a young buck. Okay. And so one of our, as you know, now, which by the way, our offices used to be in town. Now we're closer to St. Augustine. Right. But our perk was we got to play TPC Sawgrass for card fees. And so me and a few of the other employees, we would schedule the last tee time of the day. And when we would get to hole 17, we would tee up 10 balls. And we would wager how many of us would get the most balls on the green.
And there you have it.
So full disclosure, okay, that's what we used to do. Anyway, wow. Continue. So now I'm out. Continue, Christina.
So my question is, how do you keep pace of play? Because I'm assuming that everyone goes there with an extra sleeve of balls who they're just going to want to line it up and they're going to want to hit the ball and see if they can hit the ball on the green. So how do you keep pace of play for in regular season?
Well, we have a great team here, and we use Club Car's Visage platform, so we know when people are getting out of position. But we like to make sure, and then our 4 caddies do a great job here. We have 4 caddies with all the groups, and they're keeping play moving. What we like to say here, it's not going to be a 4-hour round, quite frankly, because the course is very, very challenging. And then I like to say that it's 4 hours to the 17th tee, because when you get to the 17th tee, it is tough to get it on that little green there. And for those people, we have a number of people that it's their bucket list trip, and they want to, because the first question they're going to be asked when they get done playing by their friends or their family is, what did you make on 17? What did you get on 17? Did you hit the green? So, and oftentimes, they're hitting 2 and 3 balls in the water before they hit the green. And actually, here's a little good nugget for you. Actually, 26% of the people never get it on the green, so they don't even finish the hole. So they'll just bring it. They'll just bring it up and drop it on the fringe and putt out from there and give themselves whatever number they want to give them. But the pace of play, we shoot for about a 4-hour and 40-minute round here, which is not bad for a busy resort daily fee course. And that is as challenging as this one, and that has an island green on the 17th hole.
Anita, I hope you took some pictures the last time you played that golf course, because after that story, Derek and his team is never letting you in the goddamn gates again.
Time out. By the way, my brother's father-in-law works for Derek.
Bill is awesome. Bill is awesome.
Look at this. Can I tell you how much I love Bill Appleyard? I just can't, like my family is so blessed that my brother married into the Appleyard family. Derek, you have no idea. He's a godsend. I love him. He's a godsend. Before we let you go, we need to talk about Bryson DeChambeau and what you guys are doing on 18 to prevent him from eating his spinach. And so please break it down. What changes have you made in regards, right? I read in regards to the gallery or the out of bounds. Explain how 18 is going to play now.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that Bryson DeChambeau can drive the ball 500 yards.
Right. So we're going to have integral part of the golf course is out of bounds on the left side of the lake on 18, because there's been some conversations made where you could play it over to 18 and come in from that way, which makes the hole much shorter. And this year, some of the hospitality we did not build out between 9 and 18. There's a hill there, the stadium concept hill between 9 and 18 was not built down as far that way. So I don't think that's going to be a good angle to come in from, especially if the pin location is on the left side of the green there. And this really, I mean, when Webb Simpson won a few years ago, Webb's not a long hitter like Bryson is. And it's really, you have to have patience out here. It's not a bomber's golf course by any means. A lot of reachable par fives. Obviously, Bryson will be hitting in a shorter iron than a lot of the players. But he's going to have to be accurate out here, as you know, Anita, because there's a lot of tight holes out here. You can hit through some fairways out here if you're not careful, get you into trouble. So I think the player this week will be one that will have patience, have great game management, work the ball around the golf course, and not necessarily a bomber's golf course. But we'll see. Bryson's proved us wrong before, right?
My money's on Morikawa. I'm going Morikawa this week. Who are you going with, Derek?
I'm a big fan of Rory's. I'd like to see Rory defend, and I don't know what we call that, right? That's is that a 2-year defense?
That's really right. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that'll be fun to see if he can pull it off. I think, he struggled the last weekend here, but I think he's going to turn that around this week. And obviously he's a defending champion. He knows how the patience it's going to take to come, get around this golf course and play well.
Fantastic. Derek, thank you so much for joining us. Really, it's a blessing. It's an honor. And we so appreciate your time this evening. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anita. And just so you know, Anita, before you go, if you decide to come back, we have the most high-tech security system now on 17.
That's what I'm talking about, pro. That's what I'm talking about, pro.
It has facial recognition. It'll zone in on you. It'll zone in on those 10 golf balls that you're ready to hit. So be careful if you come back here.
Oh, you're funny. If I do, I will. Once this pandemic's over, hopefully I get my vaccine in April. I've got a nephew I haven't met yet. Bill's grandson, Judah, is 2. I haven't seen him in a year, so I am planning to get back there. I'm hoping to be back there in June, and if I am, hopefully I'll come out. I'll get to meet you in person, Derek. That would be great.
That sounds great. Thanks for having me on, and best of luck with the rest of your show here, and enjoy watching the players this week.
Thank you so much, Derek. Appreciate you. Thank you. How great. How awesome is he? Wow. John.
Do they have hair recognition software for you, Anita?
John, good job getting him for the
Thank
show.
you.
What a rock!
Yes,
what a rock!
Derek's
What a rock
guy.
star! What a rock star he is. Where do we go from there? All right. Let's talk about some of the other new. Well, let's do this. Anything that Derek shared with us that you want to elaborate on, or that kind of stands out to you?
I'm just curious. And this is a question that we can ask others that we have on the show. Is that I think we've had this conversation before. Is our courses going to start DeChambeauing these courses, trying to change them so there's not these, we don't have Bryson up there trying to hit these long balls. Are they going to be changing the length? Are they going to change the position of things just to prevent or to avoid, what they're doing at the players and other clubs? John,
I don't think so. Listen, I think he was asked that exact question in an interview this past weekend, and he just feels like he'll just hit it over anything. He'll hit it through anything. And if he's in the rough, he's going to be 50 yards closer than everyone in the rough. And, he's hitting high lofted clubs out of the rough. And they could try to contain this, but it's not going to stop.
I feel like
there's going to be more.
I feel like we're talking about a superhero.
Right.
Can we contain him?
It's like every tournament is the same question.
Is this funny? Like we're talking,
annoying.
like we're talking about a superhero. Can we contain him? Where's the kryptonite?
I mean, if you saw him last weekend when he got up to the hole, the 6th hole, like he was just like pumped up, like his like veins were popping out. It's just comical, but it's just interesting to see. Like he's so unique. He's such an interesting character, and I just think he is changing how people are approaching the game. So.
By the way, Christine from Rivervale Country Club is watching our show. So big shout out to Christine from Rivervale Country Club. Lady, can't wait to get out there. How's my fox doing? Foxy. Do you guys know that story? We found a little fox. No? So we were out at Rivervale Country Club. We found this little fox. It was horrible. It was in such a horrible, horrible state of affairs. It had mange. So I went on my radio show and I was just like, any vet, head out to Rivervale Country Club. Come help this little fox that has mange. It's little mama fox that has no mama. And long story short, a vet who's actually a member there came out and brought mange medicine and put it in the food, and the fox is thriving now. And so, but the fox has like become very very comfortable around humans. So you'll be at your tee box and the fox will come out and sit and watch you tee off.
That's not helping.
Wow, that story should be made into a fucking TV movie.
It's amazing. So
I'm gonna get emotional.
It's my fox. It's my foxy. I can't wait to see him again when I get out there. Hopefully by April. Anyway, all right. Some other news and notes, because we're only allowed to be on until 8:10. Our producer Brett, who's behind the glass, has a hard out at 8:15. Which, by the way, if you have any questions for the show, please send them to us. Put them up on the message board, and Brett will join us at the end of the show, and we will answer as many questions as possible. So please post your message board questions. Okay. Brooks Koepka. Here's the problem. All right. Last week, what did I say? Man, Brooks is back. Whoa, baby, Brooksy is back. Nope. Here's what scares me, guys. It's his opposite knee. It's not his left knee. This is his right knee. So now both knees are jacked. Both knees are jacked.
This is why I don't go in the gym. This is
why I don't work out.
This is not good. This is not. And if you recall last week, what did I say? Oh man, I'm all in on Brooks Masters odds, right? Yeah. Brett, do you have the Masters odds? Can you pull them up? DJ is favored. I thought for sure with the win with DeChambeau this week that he would jump to the left. There we go. That he would jump to the top in regard to the Masters odds, but it's still Dustin Johnson at 6-1, Rahm 10-1, Rory, Koepka is still 11. Koepka still 11-1. That's surprising to me. Some other guys that DeChambeau is 11-1 as well. Justin Thomas 11-1. Spieth is 25-1, and Cantlay is 25-1. I'll tell you what. Right now, the way I'm looking at this, I like Cantlay right now.
You're back with him again.
You like him? He's
yeah. He doesn't have any knee issues,
injuries. I told you not to go with Koepka last week. I told you it was too soon. I don't know. I think we gave him
like you predicted the right knee injury.
I just knew. I knew something was up.
Really? Okay. Look at John. Yeah.
I just knew.
I knew a knee injury was lingering.
I've got that kind of intuition.
My sources. What are you? The Adam Schefter of golf. Okay. Let's talk about Ricky Fowler. Okay. What are we up? We're 43 minutes into the show.
43. You almost said it. You said Ricky Fowler.
Okay. So Ricky Fowler. Okay. So I am. For folks that might be watching the show for the first time, Ricky Fowler is my favorite golfer. And I might have this like weird crush. I might. I don't know. I might only wear orange when I golf every time. I might have an orange scooter that I scoot around New York City in the summer. I just might. So, but man, Nick Faldo, boy, did he
Oh, it was a dig.
Whoa. Okay, so we know Ricky has just not been Ricky since he's gotten married, and we stay like, listen. I hate to say it, John. Don't make the face. You know it's true.
What does getting married have anything to do with?
I don't know. I've never been married. I have no
fucking
desire.
guy can't get married now.
John,
He hasn't been the same. He has not been.
Let's be honest. He has not been the same since he got married. He has not been the same. Let's be honest. That is the timetable, dude. What?
Yeah, okay, whatever.
You don't see it?
I don't think his wedding has anything to do with it. It wasn't like he wasn't dating the girl beforehand.
Yeah, but dating's one thing.
I was great at golf before I was fat. You know?
Is another. Getting
all right. Time out. Take one of your corners.
I'm fired up now.
You are fired up.
Where's my Sawgrass splash?
I don't know. Where's my Sauvignon Blanc?
I need more. So anyway, let's talk about. Does everybody know what happened with Fowler and with Faldo and Faldo?
So on the broadcast, Nick Faldo says, "Oh, maybe he's shooting too many commercials, right? Wasn't that his?"
Yes, he's like, well, if he doesn't make the Masters, he'll have more time to shoot some commercials, which I think is an unbelievably hilarious comment. And I know Nick Faldo, and he's a funny guy, so I love that he said that. He doesn't give a shit anyway.
What was Rory's response? What was Ricky's response? I didn't see what I
think his response was "fuck you." What do you mean? What was his response?
You guys gotta look at what added insult to injury, which I thought was hilarious, was when he was teeing off at Bay Hill. They introduced him as Ricky Flower.
No.
Yes, it's so fucking. It's like his reaction is like, motherfucker, really?
I mean, it's like hell. It's like hell in a handbag.
Hey, it's Ricky Flower.
Listen.
Faldo said it was like a motivational thing for him, like he was trying to pump him up, but then like he kind of doubled down on it. He's like, "Would you rather have a boatload of cash or 3 green jackets?"
Well, I will say this. Listen. Ricky came out, like, first of all, he yelled at his caddy, who he's had for how many years? Like, he's had this caddy forever and a day. He said that he hasn't been fair to his wife. Apparently, he said, like, he's so frustrated, he goes home, he takes his frustration home, and he's not, I guess, the most, fantastic husband that I would expect him to be.
Wow, we're really getting deep into this right now.
Well, this isn't.
We're really getting fucking deep into it. Did you just say he's not the kind of husband that I would expect him to be?
Oh my god!
What is wrong with you? Like, really? Like, you are like a sick individual. You really are a sick individual.
Am I?
Yes.
Am I? I have a crush on him. I admitted that. I admitted it. Right. I'm coming clean.
You're worried about his home life now?
I'm not worried.
What did you have for dinner last night? Now, Ricky, you probably should have some more protein in your diet.
I'm stating an article. I'm sharing tidbits from an article that I read prior to us doing the show. This is what he has said.
Research for the show. Research for the show. Got it.
He's 32. He's now ranked 70th in the world. He lashed out at his caddy out of frustration, and he said that he's taking it out on his wife as well at home. Things are not easy for him. Okay, he's frustrated. I'm sharing with you what I read in an article. Okay, and I think it was probably on ESPN.com. So things are not good. You know how much I love this guy. I hope he can turn it around. I really hope he can turn it around because
For the love of God.
Oh, John, you're hilarious. Let's go to our Tiger update. And that is that Steve Stricker said that he hopes that Tiger Woods will be able to join them at the Ryder Cup. Does Steve know what happened?
Is Steve going to push him around in a wheelchair?
Does Steve
too soon?
Yeah, too soon. Does Steve know what happened? I mean, everything that we're hearing is like this is going to be like a 9 year recovery.
That's wishful thinking.
Moving on.
It's nice. I hope.
Also, Tiger said that he did not recall anything from the from the crash. He said that this week as well. I know last week we were talking about the forensic expert said that they felt that he had fallen asleep at the wheel, and I know there was something, Christina, that you had brought up that maybe he will remember. He'll have some type of memory from the crash, but this week Tiger said that he did not. So that is our Tiger update. Time to dive into our Players Championship.
Fantasy.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Oh my God, that's great.
the plane, boss, the plane. Anyway, as I said earlier, I love Morikawa. That's the guy that I'm expecting to win the whole damn thing. Love him to win it at 20-1. Love him at top 5 at plus 550. Love him top 10 at 3-1. That is insane money. I think Morikawa is so on point. His biggest obstacle here is going to be putting on Bermuda Green since he's from the West Coast. But I have faith and I have confidence with this new saw grip putter, putting grip that he learned from Mark O'Mara, that I'm banking on his putting. But just a few metrics here that matter on this course. First in strokes gained on approach, fourth in greens and regulation, third in strokes gained tee to green, 14th in par 4 scoring birdie or better, and 13th in driving accuracy this season. And we had Derek on earlier. If you recall, he mentioned driving accuracy, more important than driving distance. Some other guys that I like here's another thing. Go back, players who have won here have come into this tournament with their game on point across the board. Strokes gained, tee to green. Cantlay, Casey, Kokrak, Willie Z, my human ATM machine, again, finished in the top 20 this past week, and Henley. All these guys, their game is so dialed in and they are so on point. This is one of my DFS lineups. Brett, if you could switch to the other as well. Here's another DFS lineup for you as well. If you can make the switch. There we go. I also like Answer here, which I don't feel Answer is getting enough love, by the way. You could get Answer to finish in the top 40 at plus 125. That's just ridiculous to me. So Morikawa, Cantlay, Casey, Zalatoris, Henley, Kokrak, Christian, help me out here, John. Bezudinhat?
That sounds fantastic.
Okay. Christian B. I'm just rolling with Christian B. Answer. And again, Neesmith getting no respect. I get it. He did not make the cut last week, but still, I'm not giving up on him. His metrics are just ridiculous this season. So I also like Neesmith to finish in the top 20 at plus 275. John, what's your DFS lineup?
Here you go. So like you, I like Abraham Answer as well. He typically plays real well at Pete Dye golf courses. Top 10 in fairways gained. He's got 4 top 10s on Pete Dye golf courses. I love Victor Hovland.
Really?
Top 5 in 4 of his last 6 starts.
Okay, but
9th in birdies.
Time out. Before we go on to your other, he screwed me last week.
Excellent.
What happened? What happened at Bay Hill? Tell me what happened at Bay Hill. Well, I mean, because at one point in time, I'm not watching the tournament. I'm looking at the leaderboard. I don't know where I was.
Guys have bad holes and they kind of fall down the leaderboard.
Bad holes.
Come on.
Okay. All right.
You're tough. Anyway, back to Victor, who I think is going to have a great week this week.
I hope
Listen,
so.
Don't bet on him. Don't put money if you don't.
I'm not.
Okay. I am.
I'm not putting a damn penny on Hovland.
I am. And I think he's going to play great. He's 9th in birdies, average birdies. He's 8th in strokes gained tee to green. We talked about how important that is.
Mm-hmm.
He's 10th in scoring average. I like your boy Zalatoris. This is the first time I've put him on my DFS. By the way, can we get the guy a picture? This thing. I mean, seriously, he's like a legit top 20 machine. And he's like, you might as well have John Mascari on the bottom of the screen.
Can I just say I love?
You know, like Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, I tell you, I got no respect here. No respect.
Can I just tell you that I love that you just called him my guy because he is my guy.
He is your guy.
He is my Willie Z.
Willie Z is a top 20 machine. I think he's going to be a top 10 machine this week. And one of my guys that I'm going to be on all week is Scotty Scheffler, 30th in the world.
You're always on Scotty Scheffler.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. He's finished 5th, 20th, and 7th in his last 3 starts.
You're always on Scotty.
Let's go, Scotty.
That's
Beat me up, Scotty. Let's go.
I must be watching a completely different tournament because I did not pick any of those guys this week.
Let me guess. You picked the top 3 people on the chalk. I'm just going to go out on a fucking limb here and say you picked 1, 2, and 3.
But I won last week. So
you got to put up $100 again.
All right. So we got monkey knife fight. Christina always puts her monkey knife fight bets up for us. And so you got Bryson DeChambeau less. I like that. I'm with you. I don't think Bryson DeChambeau, we heard from Derek about 10 minutes ago. He said distance is not going to be a key factor. It was last week at Bay Hill. I don't feel it's going to be this week. So I like that. I like the less, and then Rory, I like the more. I like this. I like this. How much money did you put down here?
$50.
Look at you, you sassy girl. You wait, what was it? The
press it up, baby. Press those winnings up. There you go.
You cheeky monkey. You cheeky monkey. I love it.
Yeah, not so bad, right? Not a bad pick. Neither one of them, I think, are going to win this tournament. But I think for this, I like this one.
No, it's not. This isn't about winning the tournament.
Yeah.
This is monkey knife fight.
This is monkey knife fight. I love it.
All right, here's your other one. Dustin Johnson, you have less 106.5 fantasy points. What's your thoughts on DJ? Why don't you think DJ is going to do well?
You know, I'll be honest with you. I think his performance has been okay. Listen, I know he's number 1. He's a great player. That's out of nuts, not this. I just don't think his performances lately have been stellar. I just don't think he's going to throw those numbers in this fantasy lineup. I don't think he's gonna take this. I'm not looking for big things from him. I don't think he's going to win. I think he's going to play well. But yeah, I'm going less fantasy points for him. The same thing with DeChambeau based on like the last pick. I don't think he's going to be able
I understand the DeChambeau. I just don't know about the Dustin Johnson.
Yeah. That was I went back and forth on that a few times and I just looked back, you know, he has not been stellar these last few events. So I'm not
I'm just curious, how much money did you put down on this monkey knife fight?
$50.
Oh wow! Is Mark aware of your?
Does Mark know about this?
Well,
Mark know about your $100?
Listening to the show, he knows now.
Does Mark know about your?
Are you going to be sleeping on the couch tonight, sweetheart?
Well, you know, it's maybe, I don't know. Well, it depends. He was happy that I won on DeChambeau, which they all thought I was crazy for that. So, hey, I'm parlaying. Isn't that the word we say? We're parlaying our winnings.
No, you're playing with house money.
I'm playing with house money.
You're learning all the gambling degenerate terminology.
I'm playing with house money.
We'll be taking a ride to Atlantic City in about 2 months.
Oh my God!
Is the plaza still open?
Wait, do you want to know who I'm picking to win? Do you want to know who I think is going to win? Let me give you my pick.
Wait, let me have a sip.
Hold on, drum roll, please.
I am picking Justin Thomas. What? Why are you looking at me this? I watched this press conference. Dude, I'm not. Listen, I watched his press conference today. He looked confident. I'm ignoring all of this side nonsense right now. Continue laughing. It's just good. At my expense.
Anita, can you just be a little more professional, please, and get it together?
If you're listening to the show and if you made it this far without disconnecting, I'm recommending, I think Justin Thomas, like I said, he hasn't had a top 10. I get it. Since January. And keep giggling. I'm sorry, Brett. Thank you for
my favorite thing.
Take control of the situation.
My favorite thing is when someone picks a winner and then gives you all their reasons why they probably shouldn't have picked that person. Christina, I wouldn't necessarily lead with he hasn't been in the top 10 since January. But that being said, I love the enthusiasm. I love the gumption.
He hasn't played golf in 7 weeks, but he's fucking due. I mean,
All right, this is being recorded, right? So when he does win on Sunday, we're going to replay this.
All right, let's get to our fan questions before we end the show.
Yeah, because Brett has to.
I have a heart. I'm hoping, guys, all you people watching, I am praying that either tomorrow or Thursday, we are going to be making a huge, game-changing announcement for Pro Football Network. And this meeting tonight is to dot the I's and cross the T's. So, that being said, here are our top questions here. Number one is Bryson being overrated? The way we're talking about changing the courses and trying to negate for DeChambeau and his long drives, it almost sounds like the era of tiger-proofing courses. Are we overrating Bryson a little bit with this talk?
I mean,
John?
he's got 3 wins since July of 2020. I don't think you can really overrate that. No one else has been as successful as he is. Yeah, totally not overrated. He's the real deal.
John, just if you can, kind of like so much is talked about in regard to like his distance, but if you can, like you know, there are guys who can crush the. Who's the dude that you and I used to play with all the time, Christina? Who's
Mike.
like long ball?
Big Mike.
Yeah, Mike could drive par 4 greens, but like had no short game and couldn't putt to save his life. So obviously, right. So obviously, hopefully he's not watching the show. So obviously, like I just think we talk a lot about Bryson's drives and not so much about like his total game, right?
Right.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a great iron player.
Is he good enough to the point where we're talking about changing the physical landscape of golf courses?
Not yet. No.
I think they're always. That's always
he is today. He is tomorrow. He is this weekend.
Yeah.
Brett, it's no different than what they did where they went from wooden clubs to metal drivers to
That's fair.
When Tiger came, and then even like guys like Gary Player were the first to work out in the gym, and it's just the evolution of the game. And there's going to be 15 other kids that are playing golf in high school now or college that are going to hit it as far as Bryson DeChambeau, and that's going to be.
Justin Thomas, I mean, going back to Justin, he had said so many times in interviews, I'm not hitting the gym. I'm not trying to hit the ball further. I just want to hit accurate shots. So I think it's going to be far and few between that you're going to have these guys that are coming out trying to do long drive contests in a PGA Tour event. So.
Okay. Next question is, unfortunately, we don't know when we're going to see Tiger again. And in the conversation we had on the day of his car crash, we spoke so much about the impact he's had on the PGA Tour, on the game of golf itself. I don't know that we'll ever see someone rise to that level ever again in any sport. But who do you see emerging as the new face of golf? For a long time, it looked like it was going to be Jordan Spieth, but he's been, he looks like he's on the rebound, but he's been in a valley for a long time. For a while, there was a lot of talk it was going to be Fowler.
Willie Zalatoris!
Can't pull the trigger on it. Do we get to a point, guys, where we see another dominant face of the sport, or are we in an era now where the field is good?
Either Morikawa or Willie Zalatoris. To me, those are the 2 guys you want to keep your eye on that have the potential, the game, and the possibility. I don't think we'll ever see anyone as good as Tiger.
Never.
Right? Let me preface by saying that. I don't think we'll ever see anyone as good. To me, Tiger is the best golfer to ever walk the planet.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you. Yeah.
But who can get close? I think Morikawa and Willie Zalatoris, to me, are 2 young guys that I think have a really good shot of really dominating the sport for the next decade.
Here's the exciting thing about golf. So you've got eras where there were 3 or 4 dominant players and everyone was a step below, including with Tiger. Now I can rattle off 20 names of future stars on the tour that are exceptional players. Hovland, Zalatoris, Rory, JT, I mean, we could just keep on going. Yeah. That I think makes the tour I think it puts the tour in a better place long term. I think it's better to see. Listen, we loved watching Tiger dominate every week, but at some point, it's kind of nice to have some parity. You know, it's good to have a little bit of parity, like the NFL, maybe, where everyone has an opportunity every time they teed up to win. So, listen, Tiger made these players by making golf cool.
Yeah,
and now they're reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah.
All right, and then I will finish up here with a follow-up question, sort of along these lines, which is, with that being the case, with there being so many exceptional players and faces of golf that are carrying the sport forward, and we talked a little bit about this before about golf, and Anita brought up the idea of 90 seconds. You hit your shot, you approach your ball, and then you have 90 seconds to eye it up, size it up, come up with a strategy, and hit the ball. With this being the case, and we see that baseball has gone from America's pastime to very clearly the third sport in the country and falling dramatically, does golf need to go through another modernization period in order to keep the youth that guys like Tiger brought and these new players coming up are trying to hold on
to? We're doing it.
Yeah.
I think I think there's just a few guys who play really slow, and Bryson DeChambeau is one of them, right? I don't think this is a tour problem. I think this is a select player problem, and I think those players need to put on notice, like, hey, you need to be a little quicker with your assessment. I don't think this is a tour problem. I think there's a few select player problems.
It's a golf problem. I'll take it one step further, Anita. It's an issue at Alpine. It's an issue at every golf course in the country, is the pace of play. As you know, more people are playing golf, especially this past year. The golf courses are more crowded, and you've got new golfers. And I hate to break this to the both of you, but golf is a hard sport, so it takes a while to learn. And I think it's a matter of, for people like myself as a golf professional, is to educate our members and to educate the golfing public on, you can play bad golf quickly.
That's me.
You can be ready to play. You can be, taking your maximum on each hole. You could play when it's even not waiting for your turn, but if you're ready and no one else is playing, go ahead and play and putt out or bring extra clubs with you. There's opportunities for people to play quicker who are not playing for millions like the guys on tour. And I think it starts from there. I don't have a problem so much with the guys on tour, but more of
by the way, it's not always the women that are playing slow.
No
doubt.
I'm not even a great golfer, and I could tell you that I don't think I've ever seen it be a ladies' issue. I always see the guys trying to.
I can tell you from experience,
lining up 30-yard putts.
Don't get me started.
But Brett, that is a preconceived notion.
Is it really?
That's crazy.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, John,
that's crazy.
I got these 4 women in front. Oh, we got these 4 women in front of us. Oh, we're gonna be here all day.
I strive to be.
Something. I've had 4 guys in front of me, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah. Look.
Come on.
I strive to be what you guys are talking about. I am not a good golfer, but I like that I play with good golfers and I keep the pace moving. I'm not. And whenever I feel like we're being held up, it's because there's a guy, a weekend warrior, who's laying belly down on the green, eyeing up a 50-foot putt because he saw Tiger do it in the Masters in '96. And so it's like, you're going to miss the putt anyway. Just hit it.
What's his name? Camilo.
Yeah, he'd be the skater down on there.
Yeah.
And let me just add a note into this. Is listen, due to this pandemic, more and more people are playing golf. More men are playing. More kids are playing. More women for sure are playing golf. And so it's bringing people out. And more and more people are getting introduced to the sport. It's harder to get tee times. I know anyone listening to this right now feels the pain of having to play on public courses. It is impossible to get tee times. So some of us who are not, lucky enough to belong to clubs like Alpine, we have to go out and go on Golf Now.
Shocker. It's tough getting a tee time at Alpine also.
Bougie Alpine Country Club, John Mascari.
My only suggestion to make golf more enjoyable for the more people that are going out there is to be conscious of pace of play and to play the tee box that fits your game. There's so many things that we could do as existing golfers that we can educate those that are starting to come and join and learn the awesomeness that golf is, to teach them to enjoy it and to be respectful of the game, because nobody wants to spend 6 hours on the golf course unless you just don't want to go home to your spouse.
Yeah, but I'm making us I'm making us drag on longer than I want to. I really do have a heart out here.
Brett,
I do want to say this.
We know you have to go.
No, but I do want to ask this quick question, because it goes to that point. When you play a pickup game of basketball, right? You don't go so hard. There's a little bit of unwritten rules to keep it fun, keep it fair for everybody. Same thing when you're playing a pickup game of touch football. I don't think the average person, though, knows the unwritten rules or the etiquette that goes with playing golf. Like, you don't step on person's How do you get that to masses?
But this is where who they're playing with needs to say to them, okay, it's time to pick up your ball. Or that putt's good. Let's go.
So it falls to the most experienced player to be the
You're already at 7 strokes. That putt's good. Let's go. Okay. Really quick, Christina, let's end on this. Give us an LPGA update. What's the latest with the LPGA? What's going on?
Great things are happening on the LPGA right now. So last week we had the Drive On Championship where Austin Ernst won the Drive On Championship. It was played.
I lost money on Corda.
It's my fault. That's my fault. It's my fault. It was a good bet, but you text me while I was driving. I didn't know where she was. I had a little bit of a handicap.
Don't blame yourself. It was. I take full responsibility for losing my money.
Yeah, that's your fault. But Austin, she grabbed her 3rd tour win, and right now, what's been really great about what the LPG Tour is doing, and with women's golf right now, the Americans are playing really, really well. I mean, Ernst, she gave the U.S. their 3rd straight victory to an opening season for the first time since 2007. So it's a big deal right now. Americans look strong. I'm excited for the tournaments. I mean, you guys really tune in to watch these ladies play. There's fantastic players out there. You can really, us amateurs could probably learn a lot by watching the women's tour. And I know a lot of men out there do watch the ladies tour. I mean, these ladies are incredible. So there's a lot of talent in the field right now. We've got the Olympics this year. We've got Solheim Cup. There's a lot of great stories that are coming out of the tour. So tune in. The ladies are off for a little while. They have the Kia Classic that's being held in Carlsbad starting March 25th. So they're on a little bit of a break right now. And then they're going to be on the West Coast, and then they're going to be in full swing for the rest of the season. So, rooting for the U.S. I mean, we've got some great players out there. So if you please watch and support the girls.
Fantastic. Christina, thank you so much again. Christina Thompson for Golf for Her. Make sure you log John, you're too much. Make sure you log on to her website, get yourself ready, get yourself geared up, because obviously, as we all know, you play better when you look good. And so you want to look good. Log on to Golf for Her. John Mascari, you're the bomb, dude.
I'm getting my Florida groove on.
I see it. I love it. The Florida swing. Taking place at TPC Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra, Florida, is the Players Championship. A lot of guys, a lot of people call it the 5th major. So it's
Justin Thomas is going to win.
Okay, she's got Justin Thomas. I got Morikawa, and John has.
I have Victor Hovland.
And he has Victor Hovland, who wet the bed for me last week. But I'm not bitter.
That's exactly why I have him.
I'm not bitter. John, thank you so much for getting Derek on the show for us. If you missed any portion of the show will live live on all our social media platforms. You could rewind and watch. We had Derek, the general manager of TPC Sawgrass, on the show with us. Yeah, that's right. Rewind. We had him on the show with us, and he gave us some in-depth analysis in regard to how the course is playing. So I highly recommend, if you missed any portion of the show, rewind. And I guess that's it, guys, right?
Got nothing else.
All right. I'm going to spend the rest of my night. I'm going to finish up on my Banshee. Are you guys watching Banshee on HBO Max?
No, but I'm going to make another one of these because this is really good.
Yeah. So I'm going to finish watching. I'm going to dive into my deep, dark rabbit hole of my Banshee watching, and put together all my DFS lineups, and put in all my wagers. I've got to recoup from my my bad advice from Christina on Corda last week. So I got to recoup.
Listen, this girl, she's going to be world number 1. Don't I'm telling you.
I'm giving you a hard time. Anyway, everybody, Everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the tournament. We're here with you every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock on PFN. So God bless. Everybody, enjoy the tournament. Bye.